Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here, Midwest Market Management. I've got Riley Sykard on with me here today. It is Tuesday, May 19th. We're going to jump right into South America weather. Riley, we're still pushing along here on the Safrinha corn crop. All of Brazil pretty well harvested on soybeans. Argentina still plucking away there. So most of the influence right now is really Safrinha weather. What do we got shaking down there?
Not a lot of rain in the forecast, but we're at the time of the year where that's not a big shocker. So, as always, first thing I want to do, put into perspective how big of an area we're looking at. Um, for Safrinha crop, we're looking anywhere from Mato Grosso down through Paraná in Brazil. And then we're still at the same time looking at Argentina yet, as their harvest is still moving along pretty quickly. So, taking just Mato Grosso on the U.S. map, it's almost the whole Midwest. So it might look like a little area on the map, but the reality is it's not. It's a large area. So first thing I have to update us on is harvest progress. Numbers are finally starting to make a little bit more sense. You remember bean harvest had been running 8 to 10% behind in Argentina, and we hadn't figured it out why. Well, we're only 2% behind the 3-year average now. So 8% behind the 5-year, and that doesn't concern me. So 62% is the 3-year average. We're right at 60. Bean progress in Argentina, I would say, is on the slower side of average. So not any concerns there like we were potentially worried about. On the corn side, harvest progress ahead of the game still there, and I still threw in first crop corn harvest. Bean harvest was 99%, and that's the way it's been for a while. Corn now, we're getting to this phase. I'm probably going to quit showing first crop corn harvest as well in Brazil because 91%, 5-year average is 92%. Not really anything to add there. So moving ahead, 1 to 5 day temperatures. A story we've been seeing for a while. Argentina, very cool, which they're in the point of crops are mature, so that's not really hurting them any. And then in center west Brazil, Mato Grosso, Goiás, Mato Grosso do Sul, anything from 70s to low to mid 90s. So for it being the dry season, I would still say it's very, very cool for this time of year. Where if you remember last year when we were looking at these maps, it was 80s and 90s pretty much across the board still in Brazil. So fairly cool so far in the dry season. 6 to 10 day, I would say getting a little bit more closer to what we're used to seeing. Mato Grosso, 80s to 90s across the board. Mato Grosso do Sul here to the south, 80s. But southern Brazil and Argentina just continuing to run cool. And for Argentina, that's normal. But for some areas of Brazil, definitely running colder than they normally would this time of year. So moving ahead, last 2 weeks rainfall. That same region in southern Mato Grosso do Sul and Paraná got a lot of rain over the last week, and they were a region we were talking about last week on Thursday that was already wet. So regions that are wet are getting wetter, and if you look towards the most important part of the Safrinha crop region, Mato Grosso, pretty dry. So one thing to remember too, Clint, you bring it up a lot when we're talking about Safrinha crop. It's not a yield thing, it's an acres thing. So we're worried a lot more about the total number of acres and a total crop failure for Safrinha. And there's areas right now that are definitely going to be having some flooding issues. And there's some areas that are too dry, but as a whole, it looks like there is going to be a solid size Safrinha crop. So moving ahead, 1 to 5 day. Those same wetter areas are getting a little bit of rain. Everything else, that's a lot of nothing.
That is, you can't even see the zeros. It's so black.
So when we talk about it being their dry season, that exemplifies it pretty well. So let's go to 6 to 10 day. Oh, look, it's still dry. So
it's amazing they can grow any crop down there right now.
Well, it helps that they're far enough along. Safrinha harvest will, this is getting you the 28th of May. Harvest will be started by that point. So
Sure.
it's far enough along where the crop's made. We talk about it a lot. Yields are not going to be good. It's an area thing. So
Might be a good time to add your extra fire insurance under your hail policy down there.
yeah, no kidding. So 1 to 13 when you put it all together. Argentina is still getting some rains, southern Brazil, but that Safrina crop region, especially the northern half of it's really not getting anything over the next 2 weeks. So overall, that's all I got today, Clint. We're at a point where the maps are looking very similar week to week. The only thing really changing is temperature down there. So
10-4, well, I appreciate you putting them together. Again, Clint McLaughlin, Riley Sycard, Midwest Market Management. Thanks a lot and have a good day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is or is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.